Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Good. My name is Christopher Mix. I'm VP of Operations at Loadsmart. In my role, I lead our carrier sales, capacity development, business optimization, and our load operations teams. I love what I do at Loadsmart as I get to support our brokerage with growing our carrier network, enabling our team to create an unparalleled logistics experience in the industry. At Loadsmart, our mission is simple. Move freight in the most efficient, transparent, and automated way possible so our shipper and carrier partners can move more with less. Loadsmart is one of the fastest growing digital brokers, trusted by 25% of Fortune 500 companies to move their freight. With direct access to top shippers, carriers gain full visibility to our freight technology, fleet management services, and can instantly find and book shipments with reliable customer partners on our load board. We have a very diverse carrier network of over 40,000 carriers that enable us to move van, reefer, flatbed, partial, LTL, drayage, and intermodal shipments. These carriers are equipped with tools that provide automated tracking, document and upload features, 48-hour quick pay, and now factoring. Today, we're going to uncover how using technology can increase profitability and save hours from your work week. You'll hear the story of Pavel Botev, a driver and business owner who spent countless hours using multiple tools and spreadsheets to operate his company until he built his own solution. We'll also talk about how you can easily know which trucks are most profitable, where your trucks are located, and which drivers are top performers within a matter of seconds, not hours, and all within one system. Joining me today to discuss how adding technology can help inform business decisions are two individuals who know the ins and outs of what carriers deal with each day. Please welcome Pavel Botev, founder and owner of Logiflex, and Casey Monahan, Vice President of Digital Sales at Loadsmart. Pavel, Casey, would you care to introduce yourselves?
Hello, everyone. My name is Pavel. I'm owner of trucking company called Logiflex. We're based in we have terminals in Indiana and Houston. As a company, we do OTR, we do hazmat, and we have a big portion that we started doing dredge. I also am the founder of Camion TMS, now Carrier TMS, that we're going to talk about in a moment.
You guys hear me now? Is that better? Okay. Hey, I'm Casey Monahan. I'm the VP of Shipper, Carrier, and Warehouse Solutions at Loadsmart. Really excited to be here. This is my second MATS, and was involved in the process when Loadsmart acquired Camion, now Carrier TMS. There you go, buddy. That's all right. Really excited to be here today and get into this.
Cool. Thanks, Pavel and Casey. It's great to have you both here today. Now, at Loadsmart, we understand carriers manage a lot of moving pieces to operate their business, on top of picking up and delivering loads. For those in the audience, raise your hand if you are spending hours each week doing one or more of the following items on the screen: dispatching, finding loads, invoicing, factoring, and uploading driver statements, moving between multiple systems, reporting data for IFTA and 1099s, and managing all other documents. Quite a few of you. That's a lot for anyone to manage on their own, not to mention the additional work it takes to keep your trucks operating on all cylinders. If you're doing this manually or using outdated, clunky technology, it's not saving you any time or helping your business move forward. We feel your pain. Outdated systems and bad interfaces that aren't easy to use are inefficiencies holding you back from making better decisions for your business. Carrier TMS was built as a platform for carriers by carriers. It provides a simple, straightforward way to optimize dispatch, reduce empty miles and overhead costs, scale your fleet, and make better business decisions, all within an easy-to-use software. Loadsmart saw the value this technology provided to carriers, and this is why we were so passionate about acquiring this tool. Next, we'll share more about the story of Carrier TMS and how you can use this technology to increase profitability in your own trucking business? So let's get started. So Pavel, can you tell us more about your background as an owner-operator and how Carrier TMS was founded?
Of course. Would you go back to the previous screen? Thank you. So I want to answer this question by talking over that screen, that screen here. For a trucking company, the rate per mile is probably the biggest benchmark that is measured. That's the first and major benchmark. But besides the rate per mile, another important thing for trucking companies is where are my trucks? Now everybody has EODs with the EOD mandate, but the EOD only shows where is the current location of the truck. The EODs do not show where the truck is supposed to be tomorrow, today, next week. This is why we incorporated these two things. We incorporate into Carrier TMS. In the screen that you see right now, you can see unassigned and assigned this green graph. This shows how many of your trucks. So every trucking company has, let's say, in that case, it's 100. I can't do the math, but 178 trucks. Every trucking company has trucks that are sitting and trucks that are on the road with drivers. And there are trucks that are sitting with drivers when the drivers are at home in the shop, or trucks that are seated trucks but they're not on the road. This screen shows you immediately at any moment how many trucks you have unseated. In that case, it's 35 trucks. Unassigned trucks, that means that the trucking company needs to find 35 drivers or needs to sell these 35 trucks. That's the decision for the trucking company. 143 trucks are assigned. That means that they're seated, they have drivers. Out of those 143 trucks, you can see on the bottom, 102 trucks are running on the road, and so they're making revenue. 27 trucks are at home, 4 in the shop, and then 10 trucks are not running for some other reason, and that's depending on the trucking company. Maybe the truck is out of service, maybe, I don't know, different reasons, different companies have different reasons. So building a Camion, that was very important for me as a trucking company owner. Where are my trucks? How many trucks are available? How many trucks are available for tomorrow? Looking at the same screen here, you can see Adrian Goulart, or this driver with trailer number 1234. You can see that he's currently doing a load from Franklin Park to Carlitos, California. And this load is going to be delivered in sometime in the future. And then there is another load that is pre-booked, that's in blue, that is from Torrance, California to Allentown, Pennsylvania. That's this truck board, and if you get a demo with Carrier TMS, you're going to see more. You're going to see more about it. But this truck board shows what is the current load for all the trucks that are in your fleet, the current load that they're under, if they're pre-booked, or if they're at home. There are more screens that they're not shown here, but that's how that was the idea of this screen. And then you see little numbers here: 326, 360, 324. That shows how many trucks you need to cover each of the days that do not have any loads. So if today is Tuesday, we have 7 trucks that we need to cover. For tomorrow, we have 26 that we need to cover. So that's the idea about this truck screen. So building a Carrier TMS was the important part for me as a carrier was to know these things. Where are my trucks? How many of the trucks are scheduled? And of course, what's my rate per mile? And we can go deeper into the reports down the road.
Yeah, what I love about Pavel's story really is he started as an owner-operator with 1 truck and grew his business to, I think, 150 trucks at this point. So he's had every challenge that comes along the way for that journey. And I know he tried to implement a lot of technology over the time. How many different TMS systems did you use before building your own?
When I started the trucking company with 1 truck, I was doing really Excel, which that was back in the days. Then I bought a system that I had to download on my computer back in the many years ago. But that system was, I was able to use that system only from 1 single computer. So if I hire more people, they had to sit down on my computer to enter loads and to do invoices and all that. So that was clunky and it was not working. Then I got another system that was semi-cloud-based. That system was okay, but it did not have any integrations with EODs and it was just clunky. It was not giving me the reports. It was not giving me the data that I need. I didn't know how many trucks are covered for today, how many trucks are pre-booked. It's just maybe the system that I used. And eventually, I started building my own system because my needs of where are my trucks at any moment and where are my scheduled trucks at any moment, this I couldn't have that answer. I have calls every day from customers saying, hey, where do you have trucks? And then I have to go in the system, and I cannot immediately tell them how many trucks. And when you have 100 and 150 trucks, now one person cannot remember all the trucks. So you need a system that quickly will provide answers. And this is how Carrier TMS was built. When someone calls in the office and you have, hey, do you have a truck in Houston? You can just click and see, hey, I have 3 trucks in Houston today, 5 trucks tomorrow, and so forth, whatever your availability is.
Yeah, the reason I brought this up is really because the tagline here, like it is a trucking TMS built by a trucking company, and I really think it solves the everyday problems without any of the fluff, right? So, you know, Pavel was really good at building a trucking company, but then found that his friends were using the software, right? But he wanted to start selling it. So he reached out to Loadsmart really in an effort to have us resell it. But when we took a look under the hood, we realized it was a better play to really acquire it and grow the business with our engineering team.
And Loadsmart was very helpful. We were back in 2019 when we first started talking with Loadsmart. We were the only connection between a digital broker that was Loadsmart and our TMS that we transfer loads through API. Usually loads were transferred with the big guys, with C.H. Robinson, with J.B. Hunt, Schneider's, through EDI. These EDI integrations are expensive, and you need to have very expensive software to get those. We wanted to do integration with API because that's cheap for the carrier and for the broker. This way we can have access to more loads. This is how our relationship with Loadsmart started, and now we're here.
Great, thanks guys. So after creating and using Carrier TMS, how did your business decisions start to change?
That's a good question. Well, first of all, it provides me a proper data. As I said, I know where the trucks are and where they're going. Another thing that we started building is the reports. When we enter a load into the system, we have, let's say we get a drive-in load that is loaded on a reefer trailer and is going somewhere. We capture that information that every load is a drive-in load, is a reefer load, flatbed load, or any other different type of loads. We have also hazmat loads. So if you think about it, if you monitor only your reefer trailers, that doesn't mean that all the loads that they're doing are reefer loads. So you can, on the reefer trailer, you can load a regular drive-in load, or maybe you can load a regular drive-in hazmat load, or maybe you have a reefer but hazmat load. So you can pretty much load 4 different types of loads. So in Carrier TMS, we build it in a way where every load is registered of what type of load it is, and it doesn't come from the trailer. And when you run reports, and by the way, reports are just click of a button, very fast. You don't have to download anything, or you don't have to be Excel master. When you run reports, you can see that you're making X amount of money of reefer loads, and you can compare reefer loads versus drive-in loads, although they're loaded in the same trailer. You can compare just loads, and then you can see what is your most profitable type of loads. So, knowing that information, then you can change your strategy. Well, maybe I'm going to do only reefer loads. Well, maybe I have reefer loads, but I have more expense on the reefer loads, and I have better customer-owned drive-in loads. Maybe I'm going to focus on flatbed loads. So that's up to the company to decide based on their customer. But knowing that information, what is happening with your company, is very important to make a proper decision.
Right. I think really it's just informing you of where your profitability is coming from and where you're getting hurt at the same time, right? Really informs you to make good decisions.
And you need to know the drivers. You can break down the loads not only by dispatchers that are most profitable dispatchers. You can break them down by trucks and drivers. So you can see, well, driver John, for example, he's a cool guy. I think he's very good. But then look at the numbers. Well, he's taking more time than driver Bob to deliver loads. So then you can make a decision on what's happening, why driver Bob is better than driver John. And then you can make a decision on how you're going to coach the driver or what exactly you're going to do with your company.
Yeah, we actually find this when we start doing demos. So if you're over at our booth, one of the questions you'll get asked is like, who's your best driver or who's your best dispatcher? And the answer is always anecdotal, like Pavel was saying. It's like, well, Jim is really great. And we like him, right? But then when we actually pull all of the data in from each piece, you can see which lanes or which drivers or which dispatchers or which customers are the most profitable, who's not, and really empower you to make decisions that will help grow the business.
So speaking of driver performance and profitability, why is it so important to know which trucks are most profitable in your fleet?
Well, when you have more than 2 drivers, you're always going to have a better driver slash truck and worse driver slash truck. When you have when you have 100 trucks, then you're going to have top 10 trucks that are absolutely the best, and you want to do all the trucks to be like the top 10 trucks. And you have bottom 10 trucks that are, well, they're not good, and you want to remove them. But you need to know which are your best 10 trucks, so to make the whole company look like these 10 best trucks or drivers. And this will change. Not maybe the top 10 trucks are, maybe the drivers are always on the road. Maybe they're driving in a different way. Maybe they're driving in special places. Maybe they're servicing a special customer. Whatever the reason is, you know that's reason for your company, and you want the whole company to look like your 10 best trucks.
Yeah, I think a carrier's business is run on a tight margin, right? So it's really like one great decision can make your week or your month or your year, right? Whereas one bad decision can really do the opposite, right? And the only way you can make good decisions is to have informed information. So by pulling like your ELD, your fuel card, your factoring company, your safety, your accounting all into one pane of glass, we can output the data that lets you make those decisions.
Great. So what is holding owner-operators back from adopting this technology? Why are they still continuing to use these outdated systems and spreadsheets to operate their business?
I'm not sure it's really holding them back. I mean, if you come to our booth, it's very busy. We brought on more than 300 customers last year, so growing very quickly. But I think there's a bunch of things. One, I think there's a lot of legacy tech out there, like Pavel was saying, that's on-prem or clunky or requires a lot of training. I think the expectation is that it's very costly, right? And I think in the current economy, people are very hesitant to spend additional money. But I would argue that right now, where things are very tight and margins are very tight, it's really important to bring on some technology that helps you understand where your business is and what the actual profitability is, so that you can make those informed decisions.
In the current market is really bad. So it's important to know your numbers. It's important to know your data. If you have the right tools for that, then you can have a better decisions. We will change the market? Most likely no. As a whole, because the market is market. But you can survive this downturn of the market because this market is going to change. It was very good in 2021. It was bad in 2019. Potentially next year is going to be good again. But we need to survive through this period. To survive through that period, you need to know your numbers. You need to know who are your best drivers and who are your worst drivers. And that will come with using technology.
Great. So what makes Loadsmart the right partner to grow and adapt Carrier TMS and take it to the next level?
In 2019, when I started working with Loadsmart, I was amazed by all the things that they've done technology-wise. The idea of my perception of Loadsmart and the idea of how they optimize freight is they will not replace drivers, they will not replace trucks, they will not replace dispatchers. What they're going to do is they're going to make the information flow from the customer all the way to the owner, to the truck driver that is moving the freight. All that will come all that information is going to be flawless. So, because in the era before the digital brokerages, if you have a customer that says, "Hey, I want to have a truck on Wednesday morning," then you have a broker that says, "Oh, Wednesday morning, but maybe Wednesday the whole day is going to be open." Then you have the trucking company, the dispatcher, and then you have the truck. So you have all these different people that are talking over the phone. Besides the fact how much time it takes with all these people to talk to one another and update one another, also, it's a broken phone. Maybe the shipper is going to say Wednesday, the driver is going to understand Monday because something happened. But Loadsmart can change that because it can integrate with shippers all the way through all the Loadsmart tools, all the Loadsmart environment, all the way to the driver. There's another thing, OpenDoc, that Casey can talk about, where it allows drivers directly to talk with a warehouse and ask question. Warehouse, hey, can I sleep at your facility? I'm running 30 minutes late. Can I come 2 hours earlier? We will get unloaded. Some other information that Loadsmart is bringing.
I think what makes Loadsmart a good partner is really that we understand that carriers are the lifeblood of our business, right? Chris, like he said at the beginning, manages a network of over 40,000 carriers on our platform, and we treat them right because they treat us right, and that fuels the service level for our shippers and things like that. So we're trying to create world-class platform for our carriers so that they come and work with us, right? We have a lot coming out too, and I'm excited to announce that Camion has recently started a freemium model where you can sign up and use most of the platform for free, and any services that are additional, like we'll call you and work through that part. But I think really what it comes down to is we believe that carriers are what fuels our company, and we need to build world-class products for them.
Great. So how is Loadsmart continuing to support solutions to improve carrier profitability?
I think we're definitely a tech-first company, right? We have a little over 600 people. I think it's 611 as of today. And more than 40% of our staff is either engineering or product people. So we're constantly pushing the envelope and coming out with new things, which is, I think, why Pavel decided to partner with us. But whether it's your ELD, which we work with more than 30 ELD providers, or a factoring company, or your fuel card, or we have a safety partner. We can pull all of the information in one pane of glass and make it easy, and we're just going to continue to come out with new things.
The technology that Loadsmart is bringing is great, I think. Integrating different sources of information and not without the need of manually entering all the information at any moment, it's helpful for carriers. You have everything in one, and then you pull reports, and you know what exactly is happening with your company.
Great. So we all know technology is here to stay. At Loadsmart, we invest in technology that helps carriers, shippers, and warehouses succeed. Loadsmart offers full solutions for carriers, including carrier TMS, factoring, our load board with top shippers, which, like I said earlier, includes 25% of the Fortune 500 to help them stay loaded. If you want to find out more, swing by our booth to get a deeper look at some of these solutions. And as Casey mentioned, the freemium version of Carrier TMS. We're at booth 12033. Look forward to seeing you all there. And with that, we have a few minutes to open it up to the audience if anyone has any questions for any of us.
First of all, your TMS looks awesome. It's super cool that you are an operator. You've built a business and you built technology for it as well. So that's awesome. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. The screen you had up where you were talking about where trucks are going to be, where they're going to be available, as opposed to where they are currently. Is that like a manual process where people are keying in loads, or how is it tied to the ELD? How do you do that?
Oh, great question. So we connect to the ELD, and if you stop by the booth, you can see a bigger demo. We're connected to the ELD to know where exactly the trucks are at this moment. But these loads, you have to enter your loads into the system. So in that example here, Franklin Park to California, you enter the loads, you know who the driver is, the truck, and all that information. So the system knows. So it's pretty much like a calendar of your meetings. You know that you have a meeting tomorrow, and that's what this is showing. When you book a load, the following load for the carrier, you enter it into the system as a load that is booked, but it hasn't started yet. That's why it's a different color here. So this is how we get the information. Actually, if you press on the green, you don't see it now. If you press on the green, it's going to show you where is the truck, how far is from the delivery, and you can send that information to your customer, and the customer can track only his truck during transit with all the supporting documents. You upload bill of ladings to Camion. the customer has access to those bill of ladings immediately. So we see a very positive response from customers to trucking companies, and trucking companies like that feature.
Like I was saying earlier, I think Pavel really helped us to build a platform that does everything you need, but nothing you don't need, right? And one of the things I love about this like visual calendar part is if you get a new dispatcher in your organization, they can figure out how to use this in like a half an hour, right? So we have a great onboarding team at Loadsmart that would call and do all the training, but for this type of thing, we really don't even need it, right? So like if you're a customer already and you hire a new person, it's gonna be a 15-minute conversation on like, look, this is where the trucks are, the blue ones do this, the yellow ones do that, and like it's very straightforward and super easy to use. And then I think it's funny you brought up how you can send like where a truck is, like a link to your shipper, because I remember one of the first demos I was on 2 years ago, like when Pavel was kind of holding my hand, the carrier that we're on the phone with kept saying, hang on a second, because carriers are busy, and he would be telling a shipper where the trucker is, and we were able to say to him like, hey, look at this feature, if you had this, like they would already know where the truck is and you wouldn't have to be fielding any of these phone calls.
Hi, my name's Jason Decker. Got a question for you. The fact that y'all have a TMS but are also on the carrier asset side or have been, is there any kind of conflict of interest there, data gathering that maybe y'all use when you're bidding or doing stuff like that? I mean, it seems like if I'm gathering data on what all these carriers are using, I might want to use that in another facet to be able to compete against them.
I'm going to take that one. First of all, I'm a carrier, and my trucking company is separate from Loadsmart. The TMS was purchased by Loadsmart. That was a separate company, and now Loadsmart owns the TMS, and it has all that. I did not have any issues with customers, bidding on customers or any of that, because the truth is, if a customer comes to me and asks me, hey, I'm going to do this load for $2 a mile, $3 a mile, whatever the price is, I can say, yeah, this lane is going to work for $250 for me. If Loadsmart goes and gets, or someone else, because ultimately when we bid on RFQs, we bid against 100 carriers or more. And I tell my price. My price is $250 for that lane. If a carrier or broker says $240, $230, well, that's their price, and probably they're going to win the freight. If someone says $260, $270, well, that's their price, then I'm going to win the freight. So I don't see this as a threat by any means. If anything, I've had, specifically with Loadsmart, I've been to events where they actually introduced me to shippers, and then I talk with the shippers, I set up with shippers, and I start bidding on shipper freight. And the flow of information goes through Camion. Loadsmart carrier TMS sees that, but they're two different things. I've never had problems.
Yeah, I think it's a great question, and it comes up a lot, right? And really the data is gated off, and then we do aggregate some of the data, but it's all anonymized, right? And it's to inform our wider business of other things, even like he was saying, OpenDoc, right, in our scheduling platform. But no, the information is separate, and we don't use it to bid or anything like that. If we did that, we wouldn't be able to continue to have a business. So.
Hey there, Christian. I stopped by yesterday, saw a demo, pretty impressive. When I picked up the flyer this morning in the back, it talked about connecting with access to 25% of the Fortune 500 companies. Is that similar to like cloud trucks with direct shippers on board that you have access to, or is it through load boards?
Right now, it's through our load board, right, which is built right into the platform. If you have access to other load boards, like, for example, the DAT, you can add your credentials right in our system, and that load board will come up right inside of carrier TMS without any, going back and forth or anything like that. But we will build an EDI connection with any of those partners as well. We actually have hundreds of different integrations available at Loadsmart, all through a network that we built. And which ones we kind of pull and plug and choose is up to the carrier, right? So whether it's like a ELD provider that you want, like I said, we work with 30 of them, but if it's a new one, we'll go set it up, right? Or if you want to have a EDI connection direct to a specific shipper, we'll go build it for you if we don't already have it, which there's a good chance that we do.
Any other questions? Cool. Well, thank you for joining our session, and thank you to Pavel and Casey for sharing your stories with all of us here today. Hopefully, everyone stops by the booth, and we can give you all a demo of Carrier TMS. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone.